Welcome to Wednesday's edition here of the Culotta and Prince vlog. Future billionaires right here as we're going to purchase the Powerball ticket here. We're all going in thirds. Kevin's wife just texted in, they're out. All right, we reacted a ton to LSU Kentucky. Got some feedback as Tigers fall up 2 points short last night off of a valiant effort, down by 13, came back, brought it back and made it a game within the last minute. Had a look there, Keith Hornsby at the end. But the number one team in the country survives the Maravich Center and moves on to 24-0.
Well, and that's why they're the number one team in the country. They can play inconsistent for 38 minutes and still find a way to win the game at the end. LSU hasn't gotten to that point in time where they can be inconsistent, specifically at the end of the games. And I think you saw that. LSU has a drought there at the end of the game. They can't finish. That's why Kentucky is the number one team in the country, because they can finish.
All right, we talked to you about the Tom Benson stuff going on down in New Orleans. Judge yesterday says mental, physical exam needed for Benson to see whether he can control the assets of not only just the Saints, but the Pelicans too, the two sports franchises in the Big Easy. You were a part of the NFL Players Association twice the president there. How does this affect the dealings of him and the league?
Yeah, the NFL pay close attention to what's going on in the court proceedings. They want to know who the ownership's going to be. They've already agreed to the new succession plan, from what I understand. But again, whoever the new owner is and however it plays out, it's got to be agreed upon by the majority. I think it's 75% of the owners. So, it's just unfortunate from a family standpoint that they have to go through all this. It comes across as greedy to some and slighting to others, depending on which side of the fence you're on. I think at the end of the day, you just kind of watch it, pay attention to it. The NFLPA will pay close attention because you want to know who the voice is going to be for one of the 32 franchises.
How about as a player in the room? How much are you paying attention to that?
As a player for any of the 31 other teams, you really don't care. It has no effect on you. It has no effect on your contracts. As one of the 85 guys on the roster, 100 guys going into offseason, you want to know who that ownership is going to be, because it could potentially affect the ownership, not the ownership, but the coaching and the general management of the team, which then could affect adversely or negatively, positively, your player contracts because of new management style coming in.
LSU basketball 6-5 now. Do they get to 12 wins and make themselves eligible for tournament play? I mean, not that says that's where they need to get, but we both kind of agree after talking to Joe Oliva earlier this year. It seems like that's the number they need to get to.
Yeah, I think 12 was what they were hoping for. 11, you might have a chance if you get a couple of wins in the SEC tournament. 5-2 down the stretch. Looking at what's left right there, I think they have the potential to do that. But unfortunately, you're looking at a team that has had inconsistent play throughout the season, playing up to the level of competition, playing down to the level of competition. I don't know what team to expect for the rest of the season.
Some breaking news here this morning on your morning drive. Wide receivers coach seems like they'll have their first candidate to interview.
Yeah, Tony Ball, the wide receivers coach at the University of Georgia, guy who's been at Georgia since 2006, is interviewing with Les Miles today. So we'll be interested to follow up on that and see how that plays out. I know he's a pretty good coach. The question, of course, with all of these guys that come through, everybody's going to have a great-looking resume. It becomes, how do they fit into what LSU is looking for? How do they fit from a recruiting perspective? How do they fit as an on-field perspective? That's going to be the most interesting thing here. Les Miles has shown before. You have to go back to 2009. He hasn't hired a coach that doesn't have experience coaching in the SEC or the NFL. That's why I think you're looking at here a guy coming from the University of Georgia. He's got that pedigree. Very interesting candidate.
Anything to report on Downton Abbey from Sunday night?
Downton Abbey. Lady Edith made a big move. She avoided the suicide note and grabbed Lady Marigold, and she's run off into the city to start their own new life together, away from the.
Yeah, because they found out that the baby's dad was died. So
Hitler.
That's right. Hitler killed him, and she inherited the publishing company from that, so she's got her own money. So she moved away.
And then you got Anna and the butler. They're still being investigated. Mr. Bates being investigated for the murder of Tony Gilliam's man, Mr. Green, who got shoved into a bus in downtown London, and Mr. Burroughs, his secret has been let out. And the doctor told him just, sometimes it's easier to live with the hard truth of who you really are than trying to make yourself something else. So
every Wednesday on your Culotta and the Prince blog, it is the Downton Abbey recap.
It's going to be a huge one this Sunday night.
It's going to be a big one. Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Jennifer Aniston and Sheryl Crow celebrating birthdays today. Who you got?
Jennifer Aniston.
I would agree. Jennifer Aniston.
All three across the board. Your morning drive, 7 to 9 a.m. Weekdays, 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.